Natsios, a former USAID administrator. He was administrator from 2001 to 2006. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Initial reaction to everything that is unfolding, the fact that almost all USAID workers could be off the job today.
Well, actually, they're already off the job in most places. Almost everyone's been put on leave. The building's closed down. And we did see a chart where they intend to move out of 10,000, they'll move 294 people to the State Department, which is completely inadequate to run a $38 billion program. I might add that the emergency response functions in aid, which are the largest part of the agency, it's a third of what aid does, is all completely shut down. The State Department will not be capable of running, because it's not running the operations that are highly, they're fast-paced. They require DART teams, disaster assistance response teams, to be sent out within 48 hours. AID knows how to do this stuff. They've done it for 35 years very effectively, and they dominate the international response system. And as a result, there's been a dramatic drop in famine deaths. Except for the North Korean famine, we've not had major famines. A couple, but they've been brought under control. There is a system called the Famine Early Warning System that was developed after the Ethiopian famine to tell us where the famines are happening before people start dying. That's all shut down, and there's been requests to waive that so it could work. I'm not going to do it. So we have this huge humanitarian appropriation, and there's no steering wheel to the car because that's the fuse system which has been shut down. It's really very troubling to me.
Why do you think Trump is going after USAID? He said, he's talked about an agenda for it. Why do you think he's targeting this?
Well, I think, too, there are a few things that the Biden administration did politically which I thought were very inadvisable. They should not have done them. And if they had quietly appointed a new aid administrator, they could have dumped these things. They listed them on Fox News. AID should not be involved in that kind of stuff. I had the same thing happen when I took over in 2001. I did a complete review of all the projects, and I think 60 or 70 programs, we just ended out of thousands. 95% of what AID is not controversial. I think why they went after AID, other than it's a target because of these small number of programs, is because the immediate beneficiaries are in the developing world, and they can't vote in the U.S. No, most people, the news media can't even get to these people. They're in rural areas. They're in refugee camps and displaced camps. They're dying. In many cases, there are going to be a lot of deaths as a result of this. And so politically, the best thing to do for the first agency they go after is one that there's not going to be huge political repercussions. However, hundreds of millions of dollars go to Roman Catholic, evangelical Christian NGOs. My church, the Orthodox Church, the International Orthodox Christian Charities, would get money from AID to do work in refugee and displaced camps. They do food aid programs. All of these NGOs do. And I don't think they realize that they're affecting the 60% of the population that has NGOs working that are part of the Christian community. Or we have some Muslim NGOs in the U.S. They're U.S.-based NGOs, very responsible, and they do good work. So, I don't think they thought through the consequences. There are refugee camps and displaced camps that are just emptying now because people are going to die of starvation. There's no food aid. Now, the notion that this is going to go to the State Department simply is delusional. The State Department is not an operational entity. I think I don't want to interfere in your politics, but I think the merger of CETA into the Secretary of State's office was a disaster. It shouldn't have been done. DFID was the greatest aid agency in Europe. And when it was merged into the Foreign Office, it disappeared. The same thing with USAID in Australia. So we're doing what other countries did, and it's had a terrible effect.
Okay. Andrew, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your thoughts. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Andrew Natsios was a former USAID